And here we are again with and here's Modi with a very, 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 very special guest, a real Shechianu, because it's his first podcast. It is his first podcast. This is literally our friend. I'm so lucky. I have my rabbi is my close friend, and my doctor is my close friend. It's such a it's fun, you know.
Is it weird? Was he your friend first or your doctor first?
Doctor first.
So it's not weird?
It's not weird. No, it's not weird.
No.
We are, but now that you made it weird, thank you.
I mean,
What'd you make it weird for?
Because my doctor is my friend too, and sometimes when she's like poking around certain places, I'm like, and then I see her socially, I'm like, she knows things about me that.
Oh,
That's what HIPAA is for.
That's
Anyway,
what-
would you like to
yeah.
introduce him so people listening know?
Wait, but the point is, do you feel comfortable speaking with your doctor about whatever? Or are there
Yeah, yeah.
limitations that then when you're out in the real world, you feel like, oh, like maybe I didn't say something that I would
No,
have
no,
said.
no, no. I feel totally comfortable, but I
That's
think that's
essential.
a personality flaw on my part.
okay. So on our guest today, is our friend Dr. Andrew Kibert, is a performance medicine physician based in New York City. Performance medicine physician. It took you a minute to get to branding yourself.
Yes,
to that, right?
that's
It
true.
didn't just when I met you, it wasn't just that.
That's correct.
And we're going to talk about how I met you and all that. And he really is. He started his practice after medical school, obviously. When's he gonna? No, he started.
You did
he
ask
left
to
in the middle of medical school to start his practice.
you did ask to see my degree, I think, at one
We
point.
were shocked when
Right.
we saw your degree. None of us believed you were a real doctor. None of us believed you
I
were
did.
A real, you did?
I did.
Okay. And then he obviously saw that regular medicine, the way people treat medicine and their doctors it's not performance.
There was an opportunity in the market.
There's an opportunity in the market. He began a concierge medical service, which is kind of like a little bit after the show Royal Pains is kind of if you're trying to figure out what concierge medicine is, and he with an office in the meatpacking district that is absolutely stunning. And I met the good doctor. I'll tell you how I got to him. I was in Equinox. There was this big, near, not far, this big Israeli guy next to me, full. And we began talking. And he's kind of my age. And he's well built. And I asked him, what's up? How do you look so good? And he says to me, take your telephone out. In Hebrew, take your telephone. I'm going to give you a number to call the guy. I'm like, look, I'm not looking for steroids and I'm not looking for all kinds of. No! He's not steroid. Look, RX. RX, pharmacy. From the pharmacy, no steroids, not. And so I saved that guy, by the way, in my phone as Igal RX. And he introduced me to Andrew, and he at that time, and this is 9 years ago, Andrew was the only home call physician. He would come to the house, take your blood, discuss your results from before in your house.
Chic.
Yeah, very chic.
It was
beyond.
very chic.
It was beyond chic.
It was very.
It was so chic. I'm so happy I got to experience that part of Andrew. And you figure out what's going on. I'll tell you in the beginning how you just having a concierge doctor where you're visiting once a month. It was right when I discovered I had a little cholesterol, and we tried a million different things to avoid going on statins. We tried every vitamin that was on the market, and I went vegan for 3 months.
Really?
We really tried this. And when you have a doctor that's a concierge, that you're testing your blood every month or every other month, not once a year for your physical,
Yeah.
every other month, you can monitor the stuff. And we figured out, no, it doesn't work. I have to be on statins. And Andrew, it's that kind of medicine. Then he got his office and outgrew it within an hour. Within an hour, he blew out of there and got this beautiful, beautiful space in the meatpacking district. And it's a pleasure to go there. And it's fun. You look forward to your visits. And it's set up where you get your blood test. And the next time you talk about it. And My other story, I'll just introduce to you what kind of a doctor Andrew is. So we all, like I said, he's also our friend. So we go dancing together. We'll go to a dance. We'll go to a rave.
We
We'll go listen.
travel.
We
go do
travel
things.
together. But when you go to him, you first, I said I want to get my body trim. I want to get this. I'm in my very, very, very late 40s, and I was back then. I was 45 when I began working with Andrew, and we were on a dance floor, and it was hot as anything. It was 1,000, and I took my shirt off, and Andrew said to me in Hebrew, "Titchadesh."
Wow.
Yeah, which means there's no word for
It's
it.
what you say when you get a new pair of shoes.
I know.
Well,
When
you
get- he
know, but
knows,
not
he
everybody
knows.
listening.
Yeah.
Whenever you buy something, titchadesh. From
Enjoy.
The root is it's enjoy, but it's like also
Chadash.
Chadash, new. Yeah.
Chadash is new. So titchadesh. You should enjoy the newness of it.
Okay.
Enjoy-
Are you going to ask him?
So hold
So
on. That's the
anything about-
introduction. So Andrew,
And it was an accomplishment. It wasn't, as much as, I help and facilitate and catalyze the process, also about the work that you put in.
exactly. I was going to the gym nonstop. I was eating well, but there were other factors that needed to be addressed. Testosterone. I was not taking testosterone, and now I do. I take testosterone. Andrew monitors it, and we're going to call you Andrew. We're not going to call you
That's
Dr.
totally fine,
Kibert because it's not.
I'm going to call you
Dr. Andrew Kibert.
I'm going to call you
MD.
doctor.
Well, no one can get my last name. That's why Dr. K, that's how that came
Yes,
about.
which is wonderful. It's a
Yeah.
great. It's a
The
perfect-
good
the
doctor
good Dr. K.
is fantastic, by the way.
So that's kind of like my story with and then Leo saw this happening and goes, "Oh no. Oh no. I
was like-
no. Leo put his arm right out and take
Yeah.
my blood.
I woke up,
And-
there's
and-
this hot blonde in the living room with your sticking needles in you. I was like, I want in on this.
Leo's we just moved into the apartment. We just did the renovation. Leo moved in and all ding dong. Leo's still sleeping and Andrew's taking my blood. There's like a hot blonde doctor. He goes, "What is happening here?" And Leo goes, "Here you go. You have a new client." And then and obviously
So how would you describe what you do? Did we do a good job of encapsulating it? How would you
I
describe?
made it a personal story.
Yeah.
You can tell it.
Now
in your own way.
give the people over the elevator pitch. Or,
Sure.
Or how do you-
I think that the core of the services are really primary care. I think some people overlook the fact that we do handle all primary care issues.
Yes.
Because the truth is, if you want to optimize your performance, you have to have all your primary care bases covered, right? So we cover all the essentials of all the essential services that any man, woman would need depending on your demographics. And then once you have sort of covered all your bases and you have a solid foundation to build on, then we think about the performance, right? What do you want to do better? What do you want to perform better at? For some people, it might be aesthetics, hair and skin. Other people might be neuroperformance, thinking about mood or energy, focus, sleep. Others, it could be more traditional specialties, thinking about gastrointestinal function or cardiovascular function, and others might be more sexual health oriented. So it's a little bit of a choose your own adventure. People typically will come for one specific reason, and as they get to know the practice and see the sort of full spectrum and breadth of services that we offer, we continue to kind of build on that. And so it's everyone is unique, and I love that. I love the variety.
You have really built it because we saw you go from doing house calls to you getting Office A, then there was Office B.
He went from Office A to the jump from Office A to B
Was big.
was, I think, C, D, and
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah.
we're just like he knew he was going to blow up, and it's amazing. But every patient feels like they're the only patient.
Suffice it to say, you no longer do house calls.
No.
No, it would be very, very rare circumstances.
I think there's definitely if you can one day build the product where you send somebody out to do
Yeah, it's
that,
true.
that's always
Can I just tell a quick story about the house call? Oh, actually, no. That's going to violate HIPAA. I
You can't violate HIPAA. You're not a
Yeah, I
doctor.
can't, but I can't.
If it's your own health information.
No, it's about a friend who's been on the podcast who saw when I had the studio and he came to the studio and someone blank.
Dina.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Saw-
when they had his studio, Dina saw this happening.
Dina walked in, I'm getting my blood drawn.
And Dina's also right there,
And she's like,
Johnny's
wait.
there, and Johnny's there, her husband's there, and you go there, and it's a little more costly than a $20 copay.
Right. You're not going to
But-
City MD.
But look, would you
Chas
talk
v'sholom.
about? I'll give you an example. Another fun example that we can say because we're friends. We were in P-Town with Andrew. And P-Town, those of you who don't know, it's a gay town where just gay men walk back and forth on the same road. That's all that's all it really is. And they're shirtless. And we're sitting and hanging out, and every once in a while, and whenever we go out, one of his clients just goes like this, hi. Hi. No, we're friends. Like, hey, Andrew, hi. We could, but his clients all of a sudden see him out in the wild to just go, hi, like this. And one of his clients was like ripped and shredded. And I go, Andrew, whatever he's on, I want. And he's explaining to me, Morty, this guy in your journey are two different journeys. He can't put weight on. He can't. I'm looking to lose weight. The guy's looking to gain weight. Like a complete different journey to get to where you are. And Andrew, not only with regular medicine, he's also with a compound pharmacy. And he creates, I don't want to say, what do you create? What does a compound pharmacy create?
Yeah.
Medicine,
We
drugs?
we create novel combinations
Okay.
of different compounds into a single product,
Right.
with the goal of having a product that's even more effective than the individual products alone, or something that might improve adherence, meaning it would be difficult to take 10 different supplements, so we combine them into one single capsule.
Right. So we have our daily pill from Andrew. Me and Leo, each one has its own things that it needs. Mine has biotin and creatine, not creatine, what's for the hair?
You have actually dutasteride, which is like the souped up finasteride or Propecia.
That's right. So I have that in my, and Leo obviously doesn't need that, so it wouldn't be in
Correct.
his.
Yeah.
And so we have a vitamin that's made for us, our daily, and then we have the stuff that
Stuff that comes up here and there.
and things that, and we've experimented.
Andrew,
with
what does this
different
rash look like to you?
peptides, always peptides. It was
Yes.
always,
How often are the two of you gallivanting?
Once a
over
month
to
at
Chelsea?
least.
once a month at least.
Once a month at least.
At least, yeah.
And is this your favorite activity to do?
It's a very pleasant
a-
experience. It's a nice office once you tell them about the office.
I mean, I think most people don't say like, "Oh, I'm excited to go to my doctor."
Right.
Well, I get to say that.
It's a miserable.
I know-
it's a
I know.
miserable. Usually, go to your doctor. It's the most horrible experience. You walk in there, it's lit like they're looking
Not
for
mine.
cockroaches, and
Not
there's
mine.
some miserable thing behind the counter with long nails. What's your name? Is kind of this, And no, over here, it's everybody's in black sweatpants, a black t-shirt. That's just the entire office, sweet and smiling. And you walk in there, and Andrew has a thing for plants. You will notice that as soon as you walk
And the
in.
shoes.
The plants.
Yeah,
the
shoes off.
Shoes off?
Yes.
Shoes
Yeah.
off, yes. Shoes off.
Hey, because you should feel comfortable, relaxed, right? If you're going to discuss the most intimate aspects of yourself, your inner goals, concerns, fears, right? You want to be in a really comfortable environment, and the rooms, right? Couches, really comfortable chairs, right? And you should feel at home. Put your
Yeah.
feet up.
Nice colors on the wall, nice art on the wall,
No, I mean,
nice little
the
touches.
value of a good doctor cannot be stated strongly enough.
So if someone listening to this in the New York area who has the potential to become a client, what are some of the things, I have a problem with X, Y, or I want to do this, that they should give you a call? You
Sure,
said
I mean,
hair,
I-
skin, weight. What
I-
are the main things?
I think it's everyone from I haven't been to a doctor in several years. I get a lot of those, right?
Really?
Oh, yes. I haven't been to it in 10 years.
Whoa.
Wow.
Tend to be, the straight guys.
Yes, really?
Right? They haven't, finally their partner or something like, you have to go to the doctor, and they haven't found a doctor that they like,
Okay.
right? And then, of course, there are people who have individual goals. For some people, it might be optimizing their mood. Maybe they want to come off of a daily antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication.
Mhm.
Obviously, there's a lot of weight loss. Body optimization might be a combination of building muscle, burning fat, and usually a combination of both of those things. Some people are coming in for optimizing skin and taking an approach like with peptides, improving growth hormone activity to get a body-wide rejuvenation effect. So you're increasing production and regeneration of your skin, your entire body, as well as your hair, right? So, and of course, we also do procedures. We do PRP, PRF for hair growth, injections in the scalp. And one thing, if you go to a dermatologist, right, or you go to someone else who's working in hair, typically they don't do any blood work.
Mhm.
But I would never inject someone's scalp with growth factors without first doing their baseline blood work to see like what is your baseline growth hormone activity. That's why people get variable results with PRP and PRF injections, is that some people might have double or triple or 1/2 or 1/3 the level of growth hormone activity compared to the next person. So who do you think is going to get better results?
Yeah.
So what
That
would
makes
you
sense.
what would your advice be to so many people who perhaps wouldn't be able to afford the luxury of going to a concierge doctor? Because I think that that's one of the big problems in this country.
I think the number one thing that people need ultimately in healthcare is as an advocate. And if you're lucky enough to have someone who can do that for you, maybe come to a visit or
That's great.
ask what questions to ask. Most people have to be their own advocate. So I think walking into the appointment and knowing an idea of what you would like, what you'd hope to achieve, coming prepared.
Do
You
your
can-
research.
Of course, and look, the reality of healthcare in the U.S. is that it's a volume business, right? The average primary care visit lasts like 8 or 9 minutes. So
Wow.
you're coming in prepared, you have things typed up, it's ready, you're ready to go. I know any provider will really appreciate that. So, at the end of the day, you have to advocate for yourself, and if no one's there to advocate for you, you have to do it yourself.
That's very good advice.
Yeah. It's definitely not his office is not the feel like where they put the chart on the wall.
No.
And
Turn the thing,
he's-
it's
and-
green, ready to go into
hopping
the
in
room.
one to the next. He comes in there, he
Yeah, of
sits on the sofa,
course.
he's not wearing shoes, everybody's just and you talk to him like
Yeah.
you have, just like
No, that's
literally
amazing.
like you're having a podcast with him about your health.
Everybody should be so lucky to have that. It's
Yeah.
an amazing thing.
And and again, look, we've experimented with a bunch of things, and some of them really kicked in, and we're still on them for years. And then there's things that, and to optimize your health and optimize your
Your life.
your life.
Your
It's not
performance.
your life. I read this sign. It said your health isn't an expense; it's an investment. Yeah,
Ooh.
It's true.
you got to be on top of it.
You said something very interesting, though, and I think you implied something but didn't say it explicitly. But I want to bring up that point, is that you've tried some things that you're not necessarily doing now. And I think that part of this, too, is, we all know that not every medication works for every person. So there's a degree of experimentation that takes place, but it's a supervised, safe, strategic experimentation with a partner. And so I think a lot of people are curious about things, but have never found someone who can be a partner in prescribing and monitoring what those products are. And ultimately, it's a feedback loop, right? You're always iterating, you're always improving, you're getting data, right, from what the client tells you. Are they enjoying it? Do they like it? Are they having any unwanted effects? But also from objective markers, right? Looking at blood work, and use both of these data sets to help inform and iterate the regimen over time. It's not something that's static or stable. It's continually evolving, and we are also always evolving. So your regimen should be too.
Yeah.
I would say this is probably one of the most luxurious things in our life.
It is a very luxurious thing to have. We have, and there's an app that we work with for the office where you can, like, Sunday night at 9 p.m. like, I'm not feeling well, and you hit the app, and the guy, what's up? What do you need? Da 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 da. And either he calls, or because we try to keep the professional and the
Yeah.
friendship thing apart.
Well, now his team is so big that that's gotten a little easier.
It's much easier. Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
from the team calls and goes, and two seconds later, Leo does this thing. Leo knows how when CVS, hi, this is CVS.
Oh yeah, I do when CVS calls with my pharmacy, I lip sync it. I go, your alprazolam is ready.
Do you guys use CVS?
I
They are
used to
so
use
Wait, it used to
annoying.
be. You go ahead.
it used to be this thing called Capsule,
Yeah,
which
I
was
understand.
amazing.
Oh,
They
so good when that was
they-
on.
hand delivered your prescriptions for free in Manhattan. I think it was a startup, and I think they grew too fast or
They're
something.
no
And then
good.
all of a sudden, they stopped dropping the ball, and like your just medicine wouldn't get delivered one day. So I was like, we live across the street from a CVS. Let me just deal with this.
Yeah.
But you have to go in there and wait online with like 470
No,
people.
not ours. Not ours. It's
Well,
right.
You
ours
probably
is
know
a-
the pharmacist.
Yeah, they know us already.
Oh, they know me. Trust
Oh,
me. They
These
know
two
me.
gays again. I'm like picking up all of their.
I'm like, no. We're about to be traveling for 2 weeks. I need you to refill
Really?
this.
You need 90 of those?
Yeah.
But we so it's luxurious. It is a luxurious thing, but
It's
it is
great.
it's your health.
Yeah,
It's
that
your-
and Uber.
that and Uber, yeah. And
Oh, our
then,
driver.
So
The $1 million question, though,
Yeah.
would everybody who has access like this to a doctor, I'm sure who's listening wants to know,
what?
what is the deal with Ozempic?
That's what you were going
Is that like
for?
the number one thing that people, or like the top 3 things that people are like
I'll
calling
say
you
this:
about?
by the time you're reading about it in the New York Times, we've been doing it for years.
He is. He's always been
You're
on
like,
top of-
welcome aboard.
Wait, so we could talk about some of the products you have, but first of all, it's marketed so well. Everything is K something. Well, look, and Dr. Kibert has put together a mixture of like, is it Viagra and
Cialis, yeah.
Cialis and
Yeah.
something else, and it's a little pill from the compound pharmacy, and it's called K-Rect.
Oh, that's
I mean, it's
good.
fun.
Then there's like what was that? What's the other stuff that has the K in front of it?
Well, we basically we've kind of now reserved that for any of the products containing ketamine to avoid any confusion. You could imagine someone could mix those
So
up.
do you want to talk about the ketamine products?
Of course.
What we've talked about ketamine on this podcast before with
We've had
Dr. Radowitz.
Radowitz, yes.
So we've covered it a little bit, but what are
Yeah.
some of the
I think
things?
one very common misconception is that, ketamine is an illegal, compound or illegal drug. The truth is it's been around for probably since the 1970s. It's probably like 50 plus years at this point. If you're having a procedure, a surgery done in Manhattan today, you are receiving ketamine. Okay. It is used at higher dosages as an anesthetic,
Mhm.
right? So that you can, go to sleep during the procedure, not move on the procedure table so the surgeon, can do his or her work. However, at much lower dosages, you can get a mood optimizing effect, right? You're not trying to induce anesthesia, but you're trying to elevate mood. And so for some individuals, this might be an option for an as needed medication for anxiety or depression. They don't want to commit themselves to a daily medication indefinitely.
Mhm.
They might go through periods of time where they might have a day or two or a week or two where they're feeling down or a little bit anxious, and then have periods of time where they're totally fine. So this is an as needed, medication that can be self-administered. Of course, we have some people who are utilizing this as a replacement for alcohol. It's a really, really popular use case. I think alcohol generally is kind of falling out of favor. People are realizing they don't feel so great when they have it. So rather than consider, let's say, alcohol for going out or something like this, or having social anxiety, they can use some of the ketamine products. We have people who are using this in terms of for creative processes who are in the creative space. There are a lot of applications, and it's very versatile. And I think that's something that you cannot say about most medications.
So would you kind of liken it to like if someone had a medical marijuana card, like some of the same uses they would use for that?
It's a good question. I would say it depends on the reason, right? Someone has the medical marijuana card, right?
Mhm.
If someone is using this, medical marijuana because they have cancer and they have nausea from chemo, I'm not going to tell you to use ketamine for that. However, if someone has, let's say, PTSD and they're utilizing medical marijuana for that, there is a use case potentially for ketamine. So it really
Mhm.
depends on the reason why you're taking it.
That's interesting.
And again, you're monitoring it with a doctor, which is the biggest.
And look, I think another really key thing here for anyone who might have used, let's say, ketamine recreationally in the past, right? There's no way to guarantee the purity or origin of that product. There's no way to measure that product, typically in a social setting, right? Off of a key or a plate or something like this to be, look, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And look, you also have to have very frank conversations with people, right? Because like
Right.
you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, let's have a really open, transparent conversation. So, this comes from a pharmacy and it's measured, right? So,
RX.
one spray. Yes,
RX.
exactly. Of course,
RX.
RX.
KX.
One spray, one lozenge, one tablet. You know exactly what it is. So you can have a reproducible experience. That's very important from a safety standpoint, also from a therapeutic standpoint.
Yep. And testosterone.
Yes.
Would you say a lot of the problems that like people have in terms of like weight gain or like not being able to maintain their weight and mood and a lot of things are just like a lot of it can be boiled down to getting their hormones tested regularly?
Yeah, like testosterone is a big thing.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to overall body composition, thinking about fat mass, muscle mass, and also bone strength, a lot of it is, hormonally driven.
Mhm.
For some people, that might be testosterone. For other people, that might be growth hormone. For other people, that could be something called GLP-1.
Ooh, would you like to talk about that?
Sure, GLP-1 is what Ozempic is. We
Oh.
don't talk about this, right? Semaglutide, which is the compound of Ozempic, is an analog. It's a version, a copy of a naturally occurring hormone. They didn't just come up with this, right? like where the big pharma is like, oh, like we invented this novel compound that no one's ever heard of that's making people lose weight. They were like, oh, there's this hormone that we haven't really paid attention to in the body that we know has something to do with weight. What if we just give people more of it? And lo and behold, right? It promotes satiety, the feeling of satisfaction or fullness. So it prevents hyperconsumptive behaviors.
So it's also because people are also using Ozempic to reduce like alcohol intake. And
Correct.
stuff,
That's
too.
why.
They are?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like
Oh,
cutting
oh,
your
yes.
desire for it, right? How does that work?
And again, that's why I chose my words carefully there in terms of hyperconsumption, right?
Yeah.
So for some people that might be food, for other people that might be alcohol, right? It could be other substances. So these medications, the GLP-1 drugs, and there are now a handful of them, right, are being used for a lot of different reasons. Reducing consumption or excessive consumption. They're also extremely effective at preventing or reducing inflammation. People who have autoimmune conditions, women who have PCOS, right? I have women who've come off of metformin, spironolactone, other PCOS drugs because now they have semaglutide or one of the cousin compounds here, and it helps reduce their inflammatory symptoms. They reduce the polypharmacy because they're taking multiple medications, and they have the weight loss benefit. So, when you have one strategy that's really going to check multiple boxes, to me, that's the elegant solution. That's the one that we want, right? We want to have the
Elegant
simplest
solution.
outcome.
I'm just
right?
staring at Periel, and she's looking at you, and I can see in her mind, she's like,
The wheels are
coming,
turning.
I'm coming back in this next life as a gay man. I want to.
No, but let me tell you something. Your the last few times I've left your office, there's been women in the waiting room, and I wanted to be like, "Are you lost?" But no, they were patient. they were patient.
Actually, what I was thinking, first of all, I thought I was already a gay man.
Okay.
You are a gay man.
Actually, what I was thinking is I am fully getting on this Ozempic bandwagon.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Have you heard about this thing called Ozempic babies?
Yes.
So, like, would you like to describe what's happening? Because I
What
read
is
an article about
that?
it.
Really? Yeah.
I will say I have not done a deep dive on this.
Wait, let's
So
guess what it is. I don't know what it is. What is
I know what it is.
I heard what it is. It
Uh,
also I just know people having a lot of babies on Ozempic.
Is that because like suddenly the women are like
because
skinny and
it blocks
hot
it
I
blocks
don't
the
think that's
pill.
the reason.
and their husbands want to have
Well,
sex
no,
with
But
them
it could,
again?
but it could be a
Doctor here. We have a
confounder.
doctor
It could be a
here. Yeah.
confounder. I imagine it probably has, and of course, there's a phenomenon, right, where there's an increase in infertility, right? So I think that implies that there might have been an inflammatory process underlying the infertility, and therefore, once you reduce that inflammation, you're allowing the process of fertilization to happen more easily.
Oh, that's definitely not what I thought.
But for listeners too, testosterone's a very important thing too. No,
You really love this testosterone.
no, but you don't realize when you get older, it really drops.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
And then
I do want to say one other thing about GLP-1 because I think it's really important.
What is GLP-1?
It's the
So, well,
it's-
I'll give you the
it's
name.
semaglutide.
Actually, I just gave
Yeah.
you the abbreviation. It's glucagon-like peptide 1.
Wow.
You got your answer.
Okay, that's what it's an abbreviation for. And again, semaglutide is an analog of this hormone. Okay, even when you take tirzepatide, right, is an analog of this hormone. Okay, which is Mounjaro or Zepbound. Okay, so
Oh.
they're all in this family. However, I think it's really important, and I'm saying this because I'm thinking of a couple women actually, and to Leo's point, actually, I would say women is the fastest growing demographic of the practice. Period.
Yeah.
But I have a number of women. I'm thinking of a couple heavier women in my practice, okay, who thyroid's fine. It's not your thyroid. You don't have low thyroid. That's not what it is. Testosterone's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Growth hormone is fine. You say, oh, well, hormonally, again, all the standard labs that you would get at a doctor's office, or at least if you get them to check it, they're all fine. Okay. GLP-1 is a naturally occurring hormone. Do I have a test to be able to measure it? I don't. And so I think it's also really valuable, right? We know that if you have low thyroid and I can show you have low thyroid in your blood, you say, okay, I'll take some thyroid hormone. But someone who can't see the numbers, they need that objective, that quantitative data to know that something is out of range in order to think about potentially taking it. I can't provide that to them. And so there's also a bias in the testing, the medical testing that's currently available, because I can't measure someone's GLP-1 activity. So for someone who's on the fence, should I take it? Should I not? I've heard this, I've heard that. I think it would be a complete different conversation if they're able to provide some objective data to show them the activity is low.
Why isn't there a test for that?
Great, because there's a lag between what the pharmaceutical industry is pushing out versus what LabCorp or Quest is willing to offer as a commercially available test.
I mean, you could probably create a test for that
I
and
would
become
love
like a
that.
billionaire.
You want to do it?
So
No, I'm gonna be a skeleton next
When I
time.
had my surgery that we spoke about on the last episode
Yeah.
or 2 episodes ago, by the time this comes out, uh, Andrew gave me a growth hormone to take after the surgery to like speed up the recovery process for like a few weeks. So it was
That
major
helps.
surgery.
That is
And-
so smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that my surgeon didn't say
Right, I was
that.
just
None of my
about-
other
yeah.
doctors suggested that. I'm like, hello. So that goes back to like what you said about having an advocate and like having someone who's aware of like what's going on in your health life.
And to just think like a little bit creatively and out
Yes,
of the
he
box.
definitely thinks creatively. That's definitely the
Yeah.
if you could. The practice is creative. It's not standard here. This, that. It's let's see
You
what we
guys
can
have
work.
really got your shit together.
We
That's what happens when you don't have kids.
Yeah, we don't have kids. That's what you can do. That's what you can do.
You can be like, what is going on in my bloodstream right now?
yeah, we can.
So what are some of the more fun things people can come to you for? Like cosmetic things and
More fun thing.
like more little
You do
fun.
Botox, no?
Of course, we know they say the shoemaker with no shoes.
Well, you look fine. You look like you have plenty of shoes. What, you have Botox?
No, I
No,
need
he's saying-
some.
Oh, you need
Doesn't-
Botox. So
right. That's
No,
what
but you
shoemaker
do
does.
Botox in your
you
office.
do Botox, no?
Yeah, of course. But
Yeah.
I inject everyone else and don't have time to inject myself. So,
Okay.
Can
but
you-
yes.
You wouldn't
Inject-
actually inject yourself though,
Oh,
would you?
I do usually. Yes.
Really?
Interesting.
Just need a mirror.
Okay.
Wow.
Sometimes people on the team walk into the room. I'm injecting myself, and they're like, taken aback. But that's part of how I learned was on myself. Right? You can see the effects. You can feel the
I
effects.
mean, maybe. I don't know. I would imagine that you would get another doctor to do it.
Sure, I could if I had the luxury of so much time to go out and do that. But yeah, I usually just inject myself.
I will say I've had Botox a few times, and you can really see the difference on other people when it's done by like either a doctor or a surgeon who like understands anatomy
Yep.
versus like a standard like aesthetics injector
Wait a
who's
second.
just like,
Don't you have to be a doctor?
no,
No.
you don't.
It
No.
depends on the state. In New York State, you can be a registered nurse injecting Botox with, as much or little training and
Oh,
experience.
that's
There are
great.
so many things. Not everything is, I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm a physician's assistant. I'm a surgical I'm a surgical associate.
First
I'm,
of all,
I'm,
the
I'm a
look-
magician. What the hell's that? A medical technician. I mean, there's so many things that are not doctor or nurse anymore. It's just so many things.
But it's really become a commodity, right? So people are looking at the price per unit. So if you're seeing a really low price per unit,
There's a
one of two
reason.
things happening. Either it's counterfeit Botox, or I'll say you're not getting as many units as you think, or it could be that there is, let's say, an injector who's like a lower rank of credential, therefore they don't need as much for their injector fee.
Oh my God. They're
yeah.
like
You get
use
what
in,
you
like
pay
the back
for.
of like nail salons.
You get what you pay
No.
for.
Yeah. Dina
was
says she
there was a
only
big,
gets Botox when the guy opens the bottle in front of her. Don't come in with some empty bottle. Come with the syringe already filled. I want to see you open the bottle and then suck it out of the with Dina's help and see him suck it right out of the bottle that says the name on it. Don't
They're, like,
come in with your 40.
using-
No, my
filled-
doctor, Dr. Schaefer, was in the New York Times recently. He did a whole thing about talking about counterfeit Botox.
There was
How
a
it's
big
like a real
in
thing.
Brooklyn. There was a huge bust a couple months ago.
I
Oh, really?
can't.
Yeah, I mean it says Botox and have the vial open in front of you, but it's not.
What is it?
And there was an outbreak somewhere in Southwest U.S. too. I think there were people who were getting infections and things like this too. With
Fake.
it was either
Yeah.
Botox injections or PRP injections. But look, you get what you pay for, and you need to go to someone who has experience doing it. And of course, the goal, right, is never like, what happened to your face?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, did you just get back from vacation? Where'd you go? Right.
You're
That's-
glowing.
Right.
Right,
That's
right,
what you
right.
want.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
relaxed look.
Yeah, you look so relaxed.
Yes.
Right.
Who is Dr.
I've never
Schaefer?
felt relaxed in my life. Dr. Schaefer is a plastic surgeon type of person who did lasers on my face recently.
Yes.
How
yes.
many doctors do you guys have?
A lot.
Oh, a lot.
We have a lot of doctors.
But Andrew's our main
Andrew's our
doctor.
main
I was gonna say,
doctor.
do you feel like they're
Who's your
cheating on you?
physician? Dr. Kibert.
Well, actually, I'm glad you bring this up because actually another really important thing that I do, that we do, and it's also serving as an advocate, right? So when you are going to specialists and you're
Yeah.
getting
Yes.
recommendations for doing whether it's a different medication or it's a procedure, surgery, whatever it is, you want someone to discuss this with, especially if you're getting different opinions. And so helping to kind of sift through the noise and find the signal in terms of what's what, it's very valuable to have a third party who can speak the language, who can also
Yeah.
get on the phone with that doctor.
Yeah.
Of like, let's clarify.
See, that's amazing though, because there are doctors who I think I've always said that any great doctor is going to welcome a second opinion.
100%.
Like some people are like,
100%.
oh, I don't want to like upset my doctor and get like a second opinion. I'm like, are you insane?
Yeah.
No, but like when I had that surgery again recently, and he does the, has to do all the preoperative
Clearance,
panels and
labs,
stuff.
make sure everything's fine.
Yeah, and so he knows what's going on with you, and then he also sent a nice thing of juices and like
Oh,
smoothies because
that's
I
so
couldn't eat
sweet.
anything.
Yeah.
He sent. So you have someone in the office who's like keeping an eye on you.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
And Leo, let's also, the anesthesia plan, I think, is also something really, really important, right? When you're going in for a procedure, you might just thinking about let's say, if you're having like a surgery or something like this, you also want to think about the anesthesia, right? If you're going to require some sedation, depending on what procedure you're having done, you want to have that conversation before the surgery takes place, especially if that surgery is going to be before the weekend. Right?
Yeah.
And then it's a Saturday or Sunday and your nerve block wore off or whatever you were given wore off. You want to already know what that plan is. And if you've never had a surgery before, you're not, a medical professional, you're not going to be thinking about that. So I'm here to ask those relevant questions and to help the client gather that information so you have a plan.
My surgery was on a Thursday, and I was talking to him about it, and he was like, well, Leo, they're giving you a nerve block. By the time it wears off, it might be like Friday afternoon or Saturday. What would you have the number you're going to call if you have any issues? And like, these were all things I just didn't even think about. I mean, there are common sense things, but I was like, oh, you're right.
Also,
So like,
questions he told you to ask questions like, are you doing the surgery yourself completely, or is there like a resident?
there's no resident. I said no
resident.
residents in the room.
Yeah, you're doing this. We paid cash out of pocket. There was no insurance for the doctor he used, and it was, I don't need you teaching people.
Yeah, this is not
but,
like a
having
teachable moment.
Having someone, help you create those like surgery questionnaires to like have
100%.
in mind, and then like also, like I said, like having the growth hormone afterwards, like things that are not just like standard.
No, thinking about that stuff is incredible. I just had a colonoscopy for the first time.
Congratulations.
And let me tell you, whatever they knock you out with is
Propofol.
Lovely.
oh my God,
Oh.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's the
and
Jackson
you're in
juice.
squeaky
Right.
clean bill of health.
Squeaky clean.
And you also go
And I
in there
was
you go in
squeaky
there
clean.
squeaky clean.
I was
Whatever they give you
squeaky.
the day before is get you squeaky
Yeah, when
clean.
Modi had his colonoscopy, I was like, do you think Dr. K will prescribe whatever you're taking before we go to like the beach over the summer? 'Cause I want to feel snatched.
I know, it's insane. That prep is
whatever the hell they give you before
not-
the colonoscopy.
Can't they come up with something like that you don't have to drink like that disgusting stuff endlessly?
It's not disgusting. My thing was
You
a
liked
little
it?
bottle. It was who the hell tasted? Take a
You
sip
didn't
of
have
water.
one bottle.
It was 2 little bottles I took, and it blew my mind away.
It's not the only thing.
There
They
are
blew
some
the toilet
newer
away, too.
products.
What?
There's some newer products for prep. So the products continue to get better, easier to take, less more palatable. All of these things. So I think that relative to someone getting a colonoscopy in years past, I think it's much easier for people's next colonoscopy.
I
let's
can't
say.
imagine what it used
And
to
also,
be
don't
like.
forget, and Andrew's. I'm so happy to hear that your number one growing clientele are women, but you are very well known to us in the gay world,
Definitely.
and definitely in the gay world for optimizing your health and safety too,
That's
with all kinds of diseases that are out there.
And look, I'll say even amongst, let's say, the males, which are the main part of the demographic of the population, it's probably about 50-50 split, gay and straight. So we have lots and lots of straight men. It is primarily men, but again, women are growing.
But if
yeah, it's
are
great.
all of your straight men hot?
Yes.
Not as hot as the gay ones. Maybe
That's usually the case.
maybe they're like a straight 7, a gay 4. But we're working to boost those numbers if that's part of their goals.
Looking to
No, but like also it's really important having like when you're gay, having a gay doctor that you can just like I had to go to a urologist recently, and the first thing I asked him was like, "Are you gay?" And he was like, Yeah. And I was like, thank God. Okay. And then we just went.
Wait, don't you think asking when you're there is a little bit late?
No. Well, I also think you referred me to him. So I was
You're
like,
doing a double check.
I was like, just double checking here.
You're supposed to vet that before you walk in. By the way, I do that for every faction of my life, is make sure they're gay men. Those are the only people I'm
anyone
willing-
doing my blood work, my hair,
Hair,
my
flowers,
everything.
It's so funny. So getting to be so do it's not all in or none either. You told me in your practice. There's some people you see like a one-off.
Definitely. So, we are a membership model in terms of the practice, which we prefer, right? So you basically are paying a retainer to the practice, and we're on your team, right? And of course, we do have some people who are not members and they remain clients of the practice, and they come on an as-needed basis. They might come quarterly, might come twice a year, might come more often than that. It kind of depends. But we have options.
So someone listening to this could be like, I just want to come in and like have a consultation.
Definitely.
Every Yenta in Long Island is gonna come in just to see.
No, they're gonna send their lazy
I heard
husbands
you on
in there.
Modi's. I wanted to see where my husband's horrible. My husband's a mess.
My husband is a slob.
Slob. He doesn't stop eating. Could you give him something? The GL, whatever the hell you're giving out over there.
Okay.
Don't give him that K-Rex stuff you talked about. Keep that away from him.
Yeah.
I don't want him touching me.
I don't want him chasing me around the bedroom. None of that K-Rec. Just give him something to calm him down and grow his hair back.
You could do maybe a promo code. If you heard about Dr. K on the show. Speaking of promo codes,
Dr. K's practice is not promo code.
but we do.
There's no promo code. If you're looking for a promo code, you should not.
You
be
should go to
looking for-
A&H Provisions.
No, I was getting there. He's not like, if you're looking for a promo code, this is not where you need to be. But speaking of promo codes, promo code Modi at A&H Provisions. The website is
kosherdogs.net.
kosherdogs.net. Use promo code Modi. A&H Provisions is the most delicious glatt kosher meats. They are a partner here with us. They are on Team Modi, as you are too. He's in shock. Look at his face. And
4th
really
of July.
4th of July weekend's coming up. You need the hot dogs from there. Thank you very much, Seth. And
Grill it up.
A&H. What?
Grill it up.
Grill it up. Yeah. and hopefully we'll be with you July 4th.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
are we good?
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like
Anything
to
else?
add?
Final
Anything on the
thoughts?
horizon for the practice?
Anything you feel was missed?
Where can they go if they
Yeah,
want to?
yeah,
visit
what are
you?
all your
Is there a
socials, your website?
or
He's not. Let me tell you something. I
no
will
idea.
tell you
He's like,
something.
I don't want
I
any
will
of
tell you
these
something
people.
about Dr. K. Let me just tell you something about Dr. K.
Quiet luxury, his assistant says off camera. Dr. K is quiet luxury.
Quiet luxury?
You have to be in the know to get into with Dr.
Yeah.
K, she says.
You can
Okay.
see the cop. You well, can they
Oh my God, what if it's like the summer
Are you really not wanting to like plug yourself? Is that what's happening right now? Because
I'll
I'm
just tell you the funniest story. Wait a minute. I'm not going to mention any names. We were in Fire Island at this thing called T, which I call what sets Leo into a nervous panic attack.
oh my God.
It's this, every gay on the island comes into this like area and just they blast this music.
Makes me want to commit a hate crime. That's what it is.
And there's one guy I know that is a well-to-do gay guy, and I said, this would be a good client for you. And he comes up and we start having a chat with conversation. I go, this is what kind of a doctor are you, and this and that. And then he just starts telling him the most disgusting things. And we were like
I definitely blocked this from my mind. Thank you for bringing this back up. Yes.
it was the most horrible
very graphic.
conversation. And he's like, that's what I'm not looking for. That's exactly what I'm
Yeah,
not
Andrew was like, I don't
looking
want
for.
that in the office.
Yeah, Andrew has the luxury of choosing who he wants to invest his time and practice with. So it's not just anybody that comes in with a promo code. It's a quiet luxury. It's a luxury.
So are we not plugging your Instagram?
I'll say, you're best, if you have a referral, because we really
Okay.
want to build a network of like-minded people, right? So we really do value referrals and kind of building our network organically like that. We've never done any advertising in the past, however many years. We spent $0 on advertising, so everything is word of mouth. I think that if someone does want to reach out, probably the best is actually just to text or give us a call at 646-568 6636.
Wow,
That was
is the first
giving
time
smooth operator.
I've never heard a phone number being given on this podcast.
So
You're
wait,
the first phone number ever on
Yeah.
this podcast.
Wait, so
we
am I
want to hear
not
from
putting-
you. We want to talk to you. We want to know what your goals are. We want to know who
I
referred
want
you.
to just tell you that their DMs are going to
Oh
be
my God.
flooded.
you have no
Flooded.
idea what you just did. You now need to get another number and
Wait, now they have a pen and paper. Say it again. What's the number?
okay.
It's 646-568-6636.
Is that a real phone number?
And just to be clear, you don't want me linking your website and Instagram in the description of the show like I do for everyone else.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll do that. I think
Okay.
Tulsi will
Yeah,
want
we'll
that.
do it, but it's not one of those Instagram,
Quiet luxury.
It's not one of those Instagram where like as soon as you say who's this doctor and everybody just goes right to their Instagram and all you see is like before and after pictures.
Yeah, no, it's,
It's not that. You barely post.
It's on the to-do list for this year. We're hoping to.
It does
but
work.
but look, a part of that is I think a lot of people maybe who have more free time and fewer clients might be investing more.
Ooh,
in
shots
that.
fired.
Well, no, I'm just being
Oh,
honest.
Hey,
He's like, well, if they're
Shade.
playing on Instagram, they obviously don't have the client list.
Well, look, I'm busy taking care of people, so that's my priority. The clients
Well-
in front of me, so we're not out here,
No, social media is a time
scrounging
suck.
around,
I
yeah.
know.
It's a time sucker, but it's what. But it's not. Might not be the thing that you're thinking. But everybody, like I said, everybody comes to where there's no rush. You never feel rushed.
Yeah.
You have a time allotted to you. You can discuss, and it's and yes. So that's the phone number. It's very easy. Dr. K, Dr. Kibert,
Yeah.
and it's in the Instagram account is.
I'll plug it. I'll
It's-
put it in the thing.
Yep, we'll put it in the description. And that's
That's a wrap.
that's a wrap.
And even if you don't go to Dr. K, maybe go to your doctor.
Go to your
schedule an
doctor,
appointment,
period,
Get that
yeah.
colonoscopy.
Go-
Yes,
That
definitely.
thing you've been putting off, that mole that's freaking you out, go get it checked out.
That's good advice.
when in doubt, get it checked out.
Yeah.
Oh!
I was asking him this weekend. We were together this weekend, and I told him we just had the Jewish matchmaker, and she and I kept going different catchphrases back and forth.
Date
And
him till you
I
hate
go
him.
to him, Andrew, do you have any catchphrases you use? He's like, no, I don't use catchphrases. I tell my clients this is what we should be doing, and what did you just say?
When in doubt, get it checked out.
When in doubt, get it checked out. Yeah,
Yeah.
So there's your catchphrase. We'll have to get you a yarmulke now. We'll get you on the yarmulke.
Or a
when in doubt,
scalpel.
get it checked out. Yeah. I'm so happy. It literally was 10 years we're together.
It's been. I mean, look. I know I've been trying to get on the podcast, so I'm really happy to finally have made it and be able to come do this with you guys. So thank you so
And
much
thank
for the
you for
invite.
We
being
highly recommend. This is highly recommend, and it's a luxury that we appreciate, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate God that has led us together to. It's what's it called? Sacred encounters.
No.
Yes, and I'm gonna one last pitch before we wrap this up. On top of Andrew being an amazing physician, as a human being,
Yeah.
he is on another level. Another connection Andrew and I had. Andrew has grandparents that are 97 and 98.
And he takes good care
And he
of
takes care of them. Andrew's
Oh.
mother passed away in the beginning of COVID. He's taken on his parents. I met them when we first realized this and that. He said, "Oh, my grandparents back then they were in the Catskills, and I was still doing the Catskills, and his grandparents were at a show of mine."
Oh, I love
And one of those little
that.
community things, and we I still have that picture. My phone sends it to me once in a while, and his grandparents are wow. I mean, all there, amazing. Andrew takes care of them every Wednesday. You visit them, and
Yeah.
and it's
We went to your
when
grandpa's
you
your
say
grandma's birthday
mensch,
party.
yeah. We were at his grandfather's 97th birthday
Yes.
party,
Yes.
and a mensch on another level
That
on
is
top of the doctor thing.
incredible.
Okay.
What are their names?
Sylvia and Joseph.
old school New York.
Yeah,
Old
like
school-
OG New
to
Yorker.
drive a
Love
taxi.
that.
Yeah. Old school New York. Yeah, amazing people.
Yeah.
God bless them. God bless you. And God bless anybody who is the friend that brings a friend to the comedy show. We are on tour, whatever you want to call it, whether it's the summer series or Modi in Australia or the upcoming tour called Pause for Laughter, ModiLive.com. We have shows when this is airing. There might be a few tickets left in West Hampton. Jerusalem will by now be over with, but
Maybe not.
maybe not. So Jerusalem, and then we have a Tel Aviv show coming up too.
That's not announced. and
We're not
there's no-
announcing it yet, but it's happening.
There go my DMs.
Okay, and the big Tel Aviv show coming up too that's not announced yet. Australia, 3 shows in Melbourne, 2 sold out. 1, there's a few seats left, and that's on the 24th of August. And then the 29th, we are in Sydney, Australia. I'm not going to do a stupid accent, so just get your tickets. And then we have the Borgata, Atlantic City. We have in Nashville. We have Leo Help Me.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Zurich, London.
Zurich, and
is
the
sold out.
Palladium in London, which
Wow.
God willing, by
And
the
we
time
end
this
it
airs-
in the Beacon Theater here in New York City, which
Could
is
you let me get to the
in December.
the final, and then the Beacon Theater, which is almost sold out.
it's getting there, and it's all
It's-
the way in December.
And so, in December, be the friend that brings the friends to the comedy show. Get 6 tickets right now for the Beacon. So when first of all, amazing Christmas gift and an amazing just the
Hanukkah
best
gift.
way to be with your friends is to be
Hanukkah
laughing.
gift.
Yeah.
Hanukkah gift, holiday gift. Thank you. And not me being by my own. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for all the DMs everybody sends. And
When in
keep-
doubt, check it out.
when in doubt, check it out. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.